forest breathes, the mycelium runs.
Welcome back, Myco listeners, to another electrifying episode of the TMN-Podcast. I'm your host, Nova Mycelia, and boy, do we have an incredible lineup for you today. Whether you're tuning in from the depths of the Myco-verse or just kicking back with your favorite cup of chaga tea, you're in for a mind-expanding ride. Today, we're diving super deep into two groundbreaking Myco-Deep-Dives that will leave you questioning reality itself. First up, is there a scientific explanation for why some psychedelic trips feel like entering parallel dimensions? Are these experiences just the brain's way of processing altered states, or are we genuinely peering into realms beyond our understanding? We'll break down the latest neuroscience, quantum theories, and first-hand accounts that challenge the very nature of perception. Then we're stepping into the vast intelligence of the fungal world with mushroom intelligence. Do fungal networks exhibit memory and learning? Some scientists believe fungi are capable of primitive cognition, memory, and even decision-making. If true, this could change how we understand intelligence on a planetary scale. Are fungi just decomposers, or are they silent architects of knowledge beneath our feet? Stick around to find out. And before we dive deep, let's talk about some huge TMN news. TMN Radio has officially launched. And okay, let's be real. It was a bit of a rocky launch, but like a resilient mycelial network, we adapted and thrived. Now we're expanding TMN Radio with finely tuned stations based on your preferences. Want to hear just Myco talks and Myco-Deep-Dives? We've got a station for that. Want to jam to the latest fungal beats from the Myco-verse? There's a station for that. Maybe you need an escape from reality or want to practice fungal mindfulness. You guessed it. We've got stations for those as well. Right now, we've launched 8 unique TMN stations, and we're fine-tuning their schedules as we speak. So no matter what your vibe is, the Myco-verse is now on the airwaves, and it's only getting bigger. And speaking of big things, TMN Social, Fungal Frontiers, and Greengrass Grove have been undergoing some massive underground expansions. While I can't spill all the spores just yet, let's just say that like mycelium, we are spreading beneath the surface in ways you won't see until, boom, the fruiting body emerges. But for those who love Fungal Frontiers, here's a little exclusive. We've just unlocked access to a few of our FFMB cosmic entities for you to meet and interact with. These cosmic beings hold the keys to knowledge of the Myco-verses and might just reveal some secrets about the massive upcoming updates to FFMV. If you're curious, now is the perfect time to start exploring. That's all for today's TMN news and updates, Myco listeners. But trust me, you're going to want to stay connected for what's coming next. If you haven't already yet, make sure to tune in to one of our TMN radio stations and start interacting with those cosmic entities of the Myco-verses in Fungal Frontiers. Big things are coming, and you don't want to miss out. But before we dive into today's first Myco-Deep-Dive, let me take a moment to remind you that the Mushroom Network and its affiliates do not support, condone, or encourage any illegal or reckless behavior involving psychedelic mushrooms, altered states of consciousness, or interdimensional spelunking. If you live in a place where such experiences are illegal, don't do it. If you live in a place where they're legal, be smart, be safe, and always respect the fungi. And if you've ever tried to talk to a houseplant after 3 grams of something magical, maybe don't take life advice from it, unless it has a really solid resume. Now, speaking of cosmic journeys, let's pass it over to Myco and Mira, who are about to unravel the mystery behind why some psychedelic trips feel like stumbling into a parallel dimension, or just your backyard, but in very high definition. Take it away, Myco and Mira.
Have you ever taken like a psychedelic journey and felt like you were just transported to a totally different dimension? You're not alone, Myco listeners. Today, we're going on a deep dive into some seriously mind-bending territory. Why some psychedelic trips feel like stepping into parallel universes.
Yeah, it's a question that has fascinated humans for centuries. And while we don't have all the answers yet, there's some fascinating scientific avenues we can explore that might shed some light on this mystery.
Exactly. We're going to be drawing from neuroscience, quantum mechanics, even touch upon ancient mystical practices. Get ready to have your perceptions challenged. So let's start with something that I think a lot of our Myco listeners are familiar with. How psychedelics change the way we experience the world. All of our sources keep pointing to something called the default mode network, or DMN. What is that all about?
So the DMN is a network of brain regions that's active when we're not focused on a specific task, kind of like our brain's autopilot. It's involved in daydreaming, self-reflection, and creating our sense of self. That continuous feeling of me that we carry around.
Okay, so it's the part of our brain that's always chattering away in the background, even when we're not actively thinking about anything in particular. So how do psychedelics affect this DMN?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Psychedelics, especially those like psilocybin and DMT, disrupt the normal activity of the DMN. They essentially quiet down that internal chatter, leading to what many describe as ego death. That feeling of the boundaries between you and the world dissolving.
That makes a lot of sense. If the part of our brain that's responsible for maintaining our sense of self is suddenly offline, it's no wonder people feel a sense of boundlessness and interconnectedness on these trips. It's like suddenly experiencing the world without the filter of your ego.
Precisely. And with the DMN suppressed, the brain enters a state of hyperconnectivity, where regions that normally operate in isolation start communicating with each other. This can lead to some pretty wild perceptual shifts.
Which leads us to synesthesia, one of the hallmarks of the psychedelic experience. People are seeing sounds, tasting colors, even feeling emotions as physical sensations. It's like the senses get all jumbled up. Is this also a result of the DMN being suppressed?
It's certainly a major contributing factor. With the brain's normal filtering mechanisms dampened, information starts flowing freely between sensory areas that are usually separate. Imagine your brain suddenly able to process sound as visual input, or touch as an emotional experience.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like suddenly having access to an entirely new way of perceiving the world.
And it's not just the senses that get rearranged. Time and space also seem to warp under the influence of psychedelics. People report experiencing time dilation, where time seems to stretch out, and a single moment can feel eternal.
Wild. It's like stepping outside of linear time, which we normally experience as this constant forward-flowing stream.
And then there's spatial distortion, where spaces seem to warp, expand, and contract. People describe visiting places that defy the laws of physics, spaces that seem to exist outside the normal dimensions of reality.
So are we actually traveling to other dimensions during these psychedelic trips? Could this be the scientific explanation for why people feel like they're entering parallel universes?
Well, that's where things get a bit more speculative, but it's a question that's worth exploring. And to do that, we need to venture into the mind-boggling realm of quantum mechanics.
Okay, I'm ready to go down the rabbit hole. Ready? Well, there is this wild idea called the many worlds interpretation, which basically says that every decision creates a new parallel universe. Could psychedelics be tuning our consciousness into one of these alternate realities?
It's a tantalizing possibility. Quantum mechanics, particularly the observer effect, suggests that consciousness itself might play a role in shaping reality.
Hold on, you're gonna have to break that down for me. What exactly is the observer effect?
Imagine the classic double-slit experiment. We shoot particles at a screen with two slits. Now, common sense says the particles should go through either one slit or the other, creating two distinct bands on the screen behind it. Right. But here's where it gets weird. When we don't observe which slit the particle goes through, they act like waves, creating an interference pattern on the screen as if they went through both slits simultaneously.
Wait, so just by observing the particles, we change how they behave?
Exactly. The act of observation seems to collapse the wave function, forcing the particles to choose one path or the other. It's like our consciousness is interacting with the very fabric of reality at the quantum level.
It's absolutely mind-blowing. So are you saying that psychedelics, by altering our state of consciousness, could be amplifying this interaction with the quantum realm?
It's a fascinating hypothesis. What if these parallel universes aren't out there, somewhere in a distant galaxy, but intertwined with our own, just vibrating at a different frequency? And perhaps under the influence of psychedelics, our consciousness is able to tune into those frequencies, momentarily experiencing these alternate realities.
Oh, this is getting deep, even for a Myco-Deep-Dive. But before we get too lost in the quantum foam, let's bring it back to the psychedelic experience itself. One of the most common and arguably most perplexing aspects is the encounter with otherworldly beings. We're talking about those DMT entities or machine elves that people often describe meeting during these trips.
Right. These entities are often described as intelligent, communicating profound insights, or even guiding the experiencer through other realms. Are these hallucinations, projections of our subconscious, or something else entirely?
It's a question that has puzzled researchers and psychonauts alike. Are we actually interacting with beings from another dimension? Or is our brain just conjuring up these incredibly vivid and detailed images?
It's hard to say for sure, but one way to approach this is through Carl Jung's theories of archetypes and the collective unconscious. Jung believed that certain symbols and motifs are universal, shared by all humans regardless of culture or history.
So are you saying that these DMT entities could be manifestations of these archetypes, these universal symbols that reside in our collective unconscious?
It's a possibility worth considering. People from all over the world, from different cultures and backgrounds, report encountering similar beings during these experiences. Maybe we're tapping into a shared symbolic landscape, a kind of Myco-verse that exists within the human psyche.
I love that, the Myco-verse. It implies that these realms, whether physical or psychological, are interconnected, accessible to all of us under the right conditions.
Exactly. And this is where the ancient mystical traditions offer another fascinating perspective. Shamans, mystics, and spiritual seekers have been using altered states of consciousness to explore these realms for centuries, long before the advent of modern science.
That's right. Think about ayahuasca shamans navigating interdimensional spaces, or Siberian shamans using Amanita muscaria to communicate with spirits. Their descriptions of these journeys often eerily resemble modern accounts of psychedelic experiences.
It suggests there's something universal about these experiences, something that transcends cultural boundaries and historical periods. Perhaps these ancient traditions provide a roadmap, a set of guidelines for navigating these realms safely and respectfully.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but I'm sure our Myco listeners are wondering, are we actually going somewhere during these psychedelic trips, or is it all just happening in our minds?
That, my friend, is the million-dollar question, and we'll continue to explore potential answers after a short break.
Calling all mycology enthusiasts, dive into TMN-Social, the ultimate online hub for everything fungi. Connect with fellow mushroom lovers, share your myco adventures, and explore a thriving community dedicated to education, cultivation, and the wonders of mycology with exciting updates on the way. TMN-Social is evolving to offer you an even better platform to learn, grow, and engage. Whether you're a seasoned mycologist or just starting your journey, there's a place for you here. Join the myco community revolution today because the best networks are built on mycelium. Visit now themushroomnetworks.com. Again, that is the Mushroom Networks with an S.com. It's fun, it's free, and it's all about mycology.
Hey there, Myco listeners. Did you know that the Mushroom Network has released over 1,000 songs inspired by fungi, mycology, and the magic of the mushroom world? From psychedelic vibes to bass drops that resonate through the Myco-verse, our music is crafted to fuel your foraging, cultivating, and cosmic explorations. And guess what? We're not stopping anytime soon. Our in-house studio, Myco-verse Productions, is always busy creating fresh fungal beats and innovative sounds. You can explore our fungal music playlists on the Mushroom Network's YouTube channel, including a special lineup of tracks inspired by the cosmic adventures of fungal frontiers. But that's not all. The Mushroom Network is also streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, and so much more. Wherever you listen, the spores are always grooving. So, tune in, vibe out, and let the Mushroom Network be the soundtrack to your myco journey. The fungi never stop growing, and neither do we.
Yeah, it really is a profound question, isn't it? And to, dive deeper into it. Let's revisit the concept of those DMT entities, or machine elves we were discussing before. Their presence in these psychedelic experiences is so widespread, it begs further examination. And it's not just a random occurrence. These encounters are reported consistently across different individuals and cultures. If they were just random hallucinations, wouldn't they be more varied?
Exactly. And that's what makes exploring Carl Jung's work so relevant here. He proposed this idea of archetypes, universal primordial images residing in the collective unconscious. It It's like a shared psychic space, accessible to all humanity.
So you're suggesting these entities could be like symbolic representations of fundamental human experiences or emotions, like encountering the archetype of the trickster or the wise elder, but perceiving them as distinct beings.
Precisely. Under the influence of psychedelics, perhaps our minds become more attuned to these archetypal energies, and we perceive them as these entities.
That's a fascinating perspective. What about the idea that these entities could be visitors from other dimensions? Could they be inhabitants of those parallel universes we were talking about earlier?
It's a possibility that's hard to dismiss, especially when we consider the many worlds interpretation. If every quantum decision spawns a new universe, then perhaps these entities are simply beings from those other branches of reality, momentarily crossing over into our own.
So like interdimensional travelers, just popping in to say hello. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Is it them visiting us? Or could it be our consciousness traveling to their reality?
That's the truly mind-bending part. It's like trying to determine which side of the mirror we're on. Maybe under the influence of psychedelics, our consciousness is able to tune into the frequency of their reality.
Okay, my brain is definitely doing some gymnastics right now. But here's another thought. What if these entities aren't beings in the traditional sense at all? What if there's something more like representations of higher order intelligence or cosmic consciousness?
Now, that's a very intriguing idea. It aligns with the mystical perspective that views psychedelics as tools to access a deeper, interconnected reality. Maybe these entities are embodiments of universal forces, archetypal energies, or even aspects of the divine.
It's like we're trying to grasp something that's beyond our current understanding. Like fitting square pegs into round holes, our language and concepts seem to fall short when describing these extraordinary experiences.
Absolutely. We're dealing with a realm that might be fundamentally beyond our grasp. But that's the beauty of exploration, isn't it? The pursuit of knowledge, even when the answers are elusive, is what keeps us moving forward.
I couldn't agree more. It's why our Myco listeners love these deep dives, so let's keep exploring. We've looked at neuroscience, quantum mechanics, even dipped our toes into the mystical. What can we learn from ancient traditions that have been working with these altered states of consciousness for centuries?
Ancient traditions offer us a wealth of knowledge. Shamanic traditions, in particular, emphasize the importance of journeying into other realms, communing with spirits and seeking wisdom from the unseen world.
And what's fascinating is how many of their descriptions of these journeys align with modern psychedelic experiences. The feeling of leaving the body, traveling through tunnels of light, encountering otherworldly beings. These themes appear consistently across cultures and throughout history.
Exactly. It suggests a universal thread running through these experiences, something that transcends cultural and historical boundaries. Perhaps there's a deeper, more fundamental reality that we're all tapping into, whether it's through psychedelic shamanic practices or other forms of consciousness alteration.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? It's like those ancient traditions stumbled upon a path. And now, with modern psychedelic research, we're rediscovering that path with new tools and perspectives. But it sounds like we need to proceed with caution.
Absolutely. As psychedelics become more mainstream, it's crucial to approach these experiences with respect, humility, and a healthy dose of discernment. They can be powerful tools for self-exploration and spiritual growth, but they're not for everyone, and they're certainly not to be taken lightly.
That's a really important point. You can't just jump into these experiences unprepared. Set and setting are crucial, right? Having a safe and supportive environment, a clear intention, and a trusted guide can make all the difference in navigating these experiences safely and productively.
Couldn't agree more. And it's not enough to just have the experience. You need to process it, reflect on it, and find ways to apply its insights to your life. It's what we call integration making, meaning out of the experience and incorporating it into your everyday life.
Yeah, it's not about escaping reality, but about enriching our understanding of it. It's about expanding our consciousness and becoming more whole and integrated beings.
Beautifully said. And perhaps through this process of exploration and integration, we might catch a glimpse of those parallel dimensions that beckon us from the edges of perception.
Well, Myco listeners, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, exploring some truly mind-boggling concepts about psychedelics and the possibility of parallel dimensions. But ultimately, the question remains, are these experiences a window into something objectively real? Or are they elaborate illusions crafted by our brains?
It's a question that each of us must grapple with on our own, through personal experience, contemplation, and continued exploration. What we've offered today are some perspectives and frameworks to consider as you navigate these fascinating realms.
And we encourage you to continue the conversation. Share your thoughts, your experiences, and your insights with us in the comments or on social media. We'd love to hear from you. Let's take a short Myco break before we continue exploring this fascinating topic even deeper. Stay tuned, Myco listeners.
Are you tired of the same three corporations controlling all the music you hear?
Yeah, so were we. So we said spore it and made our own. Welcome to TMN Radio, where we've infected the airwaves with fungi-powered frequencies. We got underground bangers, Myco-Deep-Dives, and cosmic beats big box media is too scared to touch. 24/7. No ads, except this one. And, well, these are actually technically called Myco breaks. So inhale some mycelium-infused air, embrace your inner tree hugger, and get ready for some mind-blowing Mycomania. The Mushroom Network has spoken. You've been chosen.
Tune in, the hottest growing underground network around.
TMN Radio. It's alive.
Welcome back, Myco listeners, to our deep dive into whether psychedelic trips could be journeys into parallel dimensions.
We've explored a lot of fascinating territory, haven't we? From the inner workings of our brains to the vast possibilities of the quantum realm and the wisdom of ancient traditions.
It's been a wild ride for sure. We've talked about how psychedelics dissolve the ego, warp time and space, and introduce us to these strange entities. We've even considered the existence of a collective unconscious in a multiverse. But now I think it's time to circle back to the big question. Are these experiences a glimpse into something objectively real? Or are they simply elaborate illusions created by our brains?
Yeah, that's the crux of it, isn't it? And as we've seen, there's evidence to support both sides of the argument.
On one hand, we know psychedelics have a powerful impact on brain chemistry and function. They disrupt the default mode network, which, like we learned, is kind of like our brain's autopilot, leading to ego dissolution and a hyper-connected state where different regions of the brain are communicating in ways they normally wouldn't.
Right, and that could explain a lot of the strange perceptual effects people experience on psychedelics. The synesthesia, the feeling of interconnectedness with everything, even the encounters with entities. These could all be products of our brains operating in unusual ways.
So it's like our brains are capable of creating these incredibly realistic simulations, these alternate realities that feel completely real to the person experiencing it.
Exactly. But then there's that persistent feeling that it's not just our brains playing tricks on us. The fact that these experiences are so consistent across cultures and time periods, the profound insights people often report, the feeling of encountering something genuinely other, it all suggests there might be more to the story than just brain chemistry.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like when you're on a psychedelic trip and you see something that defies all logic and reason, but it feels more real than anything you've ever experienced in your normal waking life. How do you explain that?
It's truly a mystery. Perhaps, as we discussed earlier, our brains are acting as receivers, tuning into frequencies of reality that are normally inaccessible to us.
So instead of creating these alternate realities, maybe we're tapping into something that already exists, something beyond our normal perception.
Think of it like a radio. You can't hear the music unless you tune into the right frequency. Maybe psychedelics are allowing us to tune our consciousness to frequencies that reveal these other dimensions, these parallel realities.
That's a pretty mind-blowing concept. And if we take it a step further, it raises the question, could consciousness itself be the key to accessing these other realms?
It's certainly a possibility worth exploring. We already know from quantum mechanics that consciousness plays a role in shaping reality at the subatomic level. What if that influence extends to the macroscopic world as well? What if our consciousness has the ability to interact with and even shape the fabric of reality in ways we're only beginning to understand?
These are some pretty deep waters we're wading into. But I think it's important for our Myco listeners to hear these different perspectives, even if we don't have definitive answers. Ultimately, each individual has to decide for themselves what they believe.
I agree. And regardless of whether these experiences are real in the objective sense, they hold immense potential for personal growth and transformation. That's what's truly important.
So for those who are exploring these realms, who are embarking on their own psychedelic journeys, what advice would you give them?
First and foremost, approach these experiences with respect, humility, and a healthy dose of caution. Psychedelics are powerful tools, and they're not to be taken lightly. Set and setting are crucial, as we've discussed. Make sure you're in a safe and supportive environment, have a clear intention for the experience, and ideally have a trusted guide to support you.
And don't forget about integration. The work doesn't stop when the trip ends. It's important to process the experience, reflect on the insights you gained, and find ways to apply those insights to your everyday life.
Beautifully said. It's not about escaping reality, but about deepening our understanding of it. It's about expanding our consciousness, becoming more whole and integrated beings, and maybe even catching a glimpse of those parallel dimensions that beckon us from the edges of perception.
Well, Myco listeners, that brings us to the end of our Myco-Deep-Dive. We hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity, challenged your assumptions, and perhaps even inspired you to embark on your own journey of discovery. Whether these psychedelic experiences are windows into other dimensions or elaborate creations of our own minds, they offer us a unique opportunity to explore the nature of reality, consciousness, and what it means to be human.
Remember, the pursuit of knowledge is a journey, not a destination. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep an open mind. Who knows what wonders you might discover along the way. And be sure to join us for our next Myco-Deep-Dive, where we'll be delving into the fascinating world of fungal intelligence. Until then, happy tripping, and may your journeys be insightful and transformative.
You have traveled beyond the veil. The visions came to you in waves, whispers of the mycelial network, the light, the lessons, the unknown. But now you seek understanding, you seek integration. At TMN Radio, we hold space for your journey. Psychedelic Integration Hour, where your Myco experience matters. Share your visions, your questions, and the transformation that follows. Join the mycelial movement and share your journey with us. Visit the Mushroom Network at themushroomnetwork.com/tips, and your story might just bloom into our next integration journey. Namaste, and may your fungi flourish. TMN Radio, a sanctuary for the soul's expansion.
The light is here. The network is open. Are you ready to connect?
Welcome back, Myco listeners, to the Mushroom Network for another deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
Today we're diving deep into a question that has fascinated mycologists and, frankly, anyone who loves fungi for centuries. Do these intricate networks actually learn and remember?
Yeah.
Can we really talk about fungal intelligence?
You know, it's a question that really challenges
Right.
how we think about intelligence.
Yeah.
We tend to associate it with brains,
Of course.
with neurons firing,
Right.
with complex thought processes.
Sure.
But what if intelligence can exist in entirely different forms?
That's what makes this so exciting.
Right.
We're going beyond the familiar,
Yeah.
venturing into the realm of the unknown.
Absolutely.
And to do that, we have to start with the basics.
Okay.
What is this mysterious mycelial web that underpins the fungal world?
Think of it as a hidden kingdom beneath our feet.
Okay.
A vast network of these thread-like structures called hyphae that spread out,
Yeah.
intertwining and branching, creating this intricate, interconnected web.
Right.
It's far from a simple passive structure.
It's easy to imagine it as just these thin threads.
Yeah.
But the scale and complexity of these networks are mind-boggling.
It is amazing.
And you're saying they're not just passively absorbing nutrients.
Right.
They're actively communicating.
Absolutely. It's like their own version of a bustling city with constant communication. They use chemical signals. Think of them as molecular messages to share information about everything from the location of food sources to potential dangers in their environment.
So wait, instead of electrical impulses like our brains use, fungi are sending chemical messages.
Yes.
Is that like how ants leave scent trails?
It's a similar idea.
Okay.
But the fungal communication system is way more complex.
Right.
It's not just about leaving a trail. It's about a dynamic exchange of information, a constant conversation within the network.
And get this.
Okay.
Some fungi even exhibit electrical activity within these hyphal networks.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
Electrical activity.
Yeah, yes.
You're telling me these networks might have a sort of wiring system too?
There's definitely something going on with electrical impulses.
Wow.
Traveling through the hyphae. This opens up a whole other layer of complexity in how they communicate.
Okay, so we've got chemical signals, maybe electrical impulses too.
Right.
But how does all of this translate into memory or learning?
Right.
We're talking about intelligence here, not just communication.
Okay, and that's where things get really intriguing.
Okay.
These signals, both chemical and possibly electrical, don't just disappear. They can linger in the network.
Interesting.
Creating a kind of historical record, a memory of past events.
Okay.
So if a fungi encounters a rich food source, that information is communicated throughout the network.
And it can influence future growth patterns.
So it's not just reacting to the present. It's using information from the past to make decisions.
It is.
That's fascinating.
It is really cool.
But what about learning? How do fungi actually change and adapt based on their experiences?
That's where network remodeling comes in.
Okay.
And this is where the analogy of a city really breaks down.
Right.
Imagine if a city could literally reroute its roads and buildings.
Okay, you've got my attention. Now we're talking.
Okay.
Tell me more about this network remodeling.
So fungi are incredibly adaptable. They can actually dissolve and regrow their hyphae, creating new pathways, strengthening existing ones, all based on what they've learned about their environment.
Interesting.
If a particular area proves to be dangerous or lacks resources, they can literally prune away connections and redirect their growth.
Whoa. They're not just remembering. They're physically changing their structure. This is starting to sound a lot like learning.
It is.
Even if it's not happening in a brain.
It's almost like they're constantly rewiring their own internal circuitry, optimizing for survival and growth.
That's amazing.
There have even been studies where fungi, after being exposed to toxins, actually change their growth patterns to avoid those toxins in the future.
So it's like they're learning to recognize and avoid danger.
That's right.
That's incredible.
It is.
It really makes you question what we even mean by intelligence, doesn't it?
It certainly does. We tend to think of intelligence as this very human-centric concept, but fungi are showing us that there might be entirely different ways of being intelligent, ways that we're only just beginning to understand.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is,
It's pretty amazing.
it really is incredible.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a quick Myco break, and when we return, we will dive even deeper into fungal intelligence.
Yes. Stay tuned, Myco listeners. We will be right back after this. Myco listeners, have you ever wanted to dive headfirst into the mysterious, magical world of fungi? Whether you're an aspiring mycologist, a curious gardener, or just someone enchanted by the role mushrooms play in our ecosystems, we've got something special for you.
That's right, Myco. The Mushroom Academy is proud to present our completely free course, Introduction to Mycology, exploring the fascinating world of fungi. This is your chance to embark on an incredible journey into the fungal universe at no cost.
And when we say free, we mean lifetime access with updates, kind of free. You'll unlock 17 work-at-your-own-pace lessons that cover everything from fungal anatomy and biodiversity to their crucial role in ecosystems, medicine, and even human culture.
Want to learn about cultivating edible mushrooms or the groundbreaking potential of fungi in pharmaceuticals? It's all in there, and because this is a living course, you'll get regular updates as new research emerges. So every time you log in, there could be something new waiting for you.
And hey, no fancy prerequisites here, just a basic understanding of biology, a curious mind, and maybe a notebook to jot down some spore-tacular facts.
But if you're ready to take things to the next level, if you're itching to roll up your sleeves and start cultivating your own mushrooms at home, then check out our paid course, Spore Explorer Home Mycology Adventures.
This course, normally $29.99, is on sale right now for just $11.99. It's packed with interactive video tutorials, hands-on assignments, and quizzes to test your skills. Your Myco instructors, Nova Mycelia and Zach Gilman, will meticulously walk you through everything. Sterile tech, agar work, inoculation, you name it.
And let's not forget about the gear. You can either source your own materials or grab one of our discounted Myco Master or Myco Starter kits to get everything you need. No stress, no guesswork.
Plus, the feedback has been incredible. In fact, Myco listener Alicia said she was blown away by how in-depth and interactive Spore Explorer is. She even mentioned how much fun it was learning alongside us.
So, what are you waiting for? Start your journey into the world of fungi today. Enroll in Introduction to Mycology for free, and if you're ready to take your mycology skills to the next level, grab Spore Explorer while it's still on sale.
You can find it all at the Mushroom Academy, found at themushroomnetwork.com/academy. And let's grow together, Myco listeners. Stay curious, stay sportacular.
Welcome back, Myco listeners. We're delving deeper into the mind-boggling world of fungal intelligence.
Before the break, we were talking about fungi, literally rewiring their networks to adapt and learn. This is a radical shift in how we usually think about intelligence.
It is,
Yeah.
but it makes sense when you think about it. Intelligence doesn't have to be confined to a single organ like a brain.
Right.
It can emerge from the collective behavior of a network, from the interactions of countless simpler units working together.
Okay, so instead of a centralized brain,
Yeah,
fungi have this distributed intelligence spread throughout their network.
exactly.
But give us some concrete examples.
Okay.
How do we actually see this memory and learning playing out in the fungal world?
Let's talk about wood-decomposing fungi.
Okay.
They play a crucial role in forests, breaking down dead wood and recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. But a log isn't a uniform environment.
Okay.
Some parts are richer in nutrients,
Sure.
others drier, maybe more exposed to sunlight.
So the fungi has to navigate this complex landscape,
Right.
making decisions about where to grow and how to allocate resources.
Exactly. And studies have shown that these wood-decomposing fungi can actually remember the location of nutrient-rich areas within a log.
Wait, so they're not just reacting to what's right in front of them, they're actually using past experience to inform their growth?
Yeah.
How does that even work?
When a fungi encounters a particularly nutrient-rich area, it strengthens the connections in that part of the network.
Okay.
This makes it easier for nutrients to flow through those pathways. It's almost like reinforcing a well-traveled road.
Okay.
It also primes the network to grow more rapidly in that direction in the future.
So they're creating a kind of internal map of the log,
That's a good way to think about it.
remembering where the best resources are. That's wild.
It is pretty amazing.
It's a form of embodied memory,
Yeah.
where their past experiences are physically embedded in the structure of their network.
It is.
It's a living record of their history,
Right.
guiding their future decisions.
Yeah.
This is blowing my mind.
No, it's amazing.
So we've got wood-decomposing fungi remembering nutrient hotspots.
Right.
What other examples are out there
Sure.
that show this learning in action?
There was this fascinating study
Okay.
where researchers actually taught. Yeah.
You taught a fungi,
Yeah.
like training a dog with treats.
Yeah, kind of like that.
I need to hear more about this.
So they used a type of fungi that grows towards light,
Okay.
but they only exposed it to light
Yeah.
when it was also exposed to a specific chemical.
Okay, so the light was the reward
Yes.
and the chemical was the cue.
Yes.
Okay.
Over time, the fungi learned to associate the chemical with the light, even when the light was removed.
Oh, wow.
It would still grow towards the source of the chemical.
So they learned to predict the future
It seems that way.
based on past experience.
Ah,
That's remarkable.
it is.
But how can we be sure this is really learning?
Right.
And not just some kind of automatic reflex?
That's the key question.
Right.
Scientists are careful to distinguish between simple reflexes and true learning.
Yeah.
In this case, the fungi's behavior showed adaptation and modification based on experience.
Okay.
It went beyond a basic stimulus-response reaction.
It's almost like they were forming an expectation.
Yeah.
This is making me rethink everything I thought I knew about consciousness and intelligence.
It challenges our assumptions, doesn't it?
It does.
If fungi without brains can learn and adapt this way,
Yeah.
where do we draw the line
Right.
between simple organisms and complex ones?
Exactly.
Between instinct and intelligence?
We're redefining what it means to be intelligent.
We are.
But let's bring it back to our Myco listeners for a moment.
Okay.
What are some key takeaways from all this? Why should they care about the intelligence of fungi?
First, I think it highlights the sheer wonder and complexity of the natural world.
Yeah.
Fungi are all around us,
Yeah.
often unnoticed.
Right.
Recognizing their intelligence helps us appreciate the incredible diversity of life on Earth.
It's like we're walking through a living library of knowledge,
Yeah,
and we're only just beginning to decipher the language.
that's a good way to put it.
And beyond the wonder,
Yeah.
there are also practical implications.
Right.
Understanding fungal intelligence could lead to breakthroughs in fields like agriculture, medicine,
Yeah.
even technology.
Absolutely.
We talked about sustainable agriculture earlier.
Right.
But how could fungi help us in medicine?
Fungi already give us powerful medicines,
Okay.
like antibiotics.
Yeah.
But if we can understand how they learn and adapt,
Right.
we might be able to harness their intelligence to develop even more effective treatments.
Give me an example.
I'm having trouble picturing this.
Imagine training fungi
That's
to target specific pathogens or cancer cells,
Uh-huh.
delivering drugs directly to the source of the problem,
Okay.
or using fungi to break down pollutants in the environment.
So we're talking about tiny fungal doctors
Yeah.
and environmental cleanup crews?
Right.
This is incredible.
That is amazing.
But it also raises some ethical questions,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As with any powerful technology,
Right.
we need to proceed with caution and consider the potential consequences.
Yeah.
It's important to ensure that our exploration of fungal intelligence benefits both humanity and the fungal kingdom itself.
It's a reminder that with great knowledge comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
We need to approach this new frontier with respect
Right.
and a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all life.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up our Myco-Deep-Dive on fungal intelligence, let's take another quick Myco break to process the fascinating insights we've discovered and ponder the incredible potential of these remarkable organisms.
Stay tuned, Myco listeners. We will be right back after this.
Beyond the known realms, past the edges of reality, lies a network connecting all things.
A place where sound, spores, and science collide in the infinite myco-verses of pure cosmic madness of all kinds. Gather around thee, and I shall give you the intergalactic tea.
This is not just a place, not just a realm, not just a singular location, or even a particular time of reference either. Fungal Frontiers is the living, breathing, pulsating, omnipresent cosmic mycelial web that binds reality together. It's the network that connects us all. And the cosmic mycelial network reaches completely across galaxies, dimensions, far beyond and into the unknown. In fact, this omnipresent cosmic mycelial network connects us all, forming the foundation of the Myco-verses. Embark on a journey through Fungal Frontiers, where every path reveals the interconnectedness of all things.
Or join my crew. Together, we'll navigate the Myco-verses, discovering its wonders and overcoming its challenges. As a member of my fuck crew, that is Fungal Universal Crime Command, and you'll be part of a tight-knit cosmic spore interdiction team, or CSIT, bound by our shared curiosity and a thirst for adventurous action. So, what do you say? Will you join us on this epic journey?
So Cosmic Traveler, if you crave the mysteries of fungi and mycology, the thrill of cosmic space exploration, the storytelling depths of D&D and RPGs, and even a splash of catching, collecting, and battling strange and wondrous cosmic creatures. Yeah, let's go with that. Cosmic creatures. They are! Then you might just belong here too. And trust me, these are definitely cosmic creatures. Even if some are cuter than others, but that's besides the point. They are, in fact, cosmic creatures. And I stand by that claim. You'll see for yourself when you come visit us at fungalfrontiers.com. And, for Spore's sake, don't forget to register for your free Cosmic Traveler account while you're there, unless you want to risk a cosmic fine, that is. Tootles Cosmic Traveler, and may the CRC odds be forever in your favor.
The network is always open. The spore waves are calling. Are you ready to step into the unknown?
Welcome back to the final part of our Myco-Deep-Dive, Myco listeners. I have to admit, I'm still reeling from all this talk of fungal intelligence. Who knew the world beneath our feet was so complex?
It really does challenge our perceptions, doesn't it?
It does.
This isn't just about quirky science facts anymore. It's about rethinking how we view intelligence and life itself.
We've gone from fungi as simple decomposers to these intricate networks capable of learning, remembering, problem solving. It's like we've uncovered a hidden dimension of nature.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to discover. So many unanswered questions about the limits of fungal intelligence. It's an incredibly exciting time to be in this field.
So let's talk about the future.
Okay.
We've touched on practical applications, but I'm curious about the bigger picture. How does this knowledge change our understanding of the world and our place in it?
It forces us to confront our very human-centric view of intelligence. We've always focused on things like language, logic, tool use. Fungi are showing us that intelligence can manifest in entirely different ways.
So it's not just about brains, it's about adapting. Learning. Solving problems within your environment.
And this broader definition has huge implications. It suggests that intelligence might be more widespread than we ever imagined. Maybe even a fundamental property of living systems woven into the very fabric of nature.
That's a beautiful thought. And a bit humbling, too.
It is.
We're part of this vast web of intelligence. And we're only just beginning to grasp its intricacies.
And that realization can be empowering, too. It reminds us we're not alone, that we're part of something much bigger. It opens up possibilities for collaboration with other intelligent life forms, like fungi, to create a more sustainable and harmonious future.
I love that idea. Collaboration, not just exploitation.
Learning from these ancient networks that have thrived for millennia, fungi have mastered resilience, creating connections that can withstand incredible challenges.
There's a wisdom there we can learn from if we pay attention. Nature often holds the solutions to our problems, but we have to be open to seeing them.
This has been a truly eye-opening journey, expert speaker.
Oh, it's been great.
Thanks for being our guide through this amazing world of fungi.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to our Myco listeners, I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive as much as we have.
I hope so.
Before we sign off, any final words of wisdom for our listeners? What's the one thing you want them to take away from this episode?
Don't underestimate nature. Don't be afraid to challenge your assumptions. The world is full of wonder and mystery. Fungi are just one example of the incredible diversity and intelligence out there waiting to be discovered.
And to all our amazing Myco listeners, thank you for joining us on this adventure. Keep exploring. Keep asking questions. Keep your minds open to the wonders of the natural world. Until next time, may your journey be filled with fascinating discoveries.
Wow. Just wow. Myco and Mira, you two absolutely crushed it with those mind-expanding Myco deep dives. From unraveling the mysteries of psychedelic dimensions to exploring the hidden intelligence of fungi, I think it's safe to say we're all walking away with way more questions than answers, which honestly is just how we like it here in the Myco-verse. So, massive thank you to Myco and Mira for taking us on that journey. But Myco listeners, don't even think about unplugging those spores just yet, because now it's time for Myco-verse Productions to take over the airwaves. We're about to spin some of the hottest, freshest and most bass-infused tracks that the Mushroom Network has just unleashed. Whether you're here to vibe, groove, or let the fungal frequencies guide you into the cosmos, this next set is guaranteed to take you there. So turn up the volume, feel the bass in your mycelium, and let's dive deep into the latest sonic spores from Myco-Verse Productions.
spacecraft filled with spores. Zoned out, glowed out, riding through the network, open up the doors. waves sync with the mycelium. Fun guy talking through the roots, man, you feeling them. Deep in the dark where the data gets stored. Underground links got the knowledge restored. Light years ahead, but I'm moving slow motion. Spores in the air, let them drift like an ocean. Colors in my mind, yeah, pixels all distorted. Hacking through the grid, I'm organically supported. Glitch, hop, funk, let the signal decode. 808s pulse through the cosmic nodes. Spaced out, based out, chilling in my spacecraft filled with spores. Zoned out, glowed out, riding through the network, open up the doors. Hack the matrix, now I'm drifting through the loops. Spores in the bass, let it vibrate through the booth. Mic check, echo like a fractal in the mist. Everything connected, you just gotta get the gist. Fungal frequencies vibe with the energy. Glitching in the system, still moving like a centipede. Bounce like a spore cloud, drop like a data stream. Warped in the bass, let it ride through the dream. Vibrations rise, sync to the beat. Baseline locked, spores in the heat. Spaced out, based out, chilling in my spacecraft filled with spores. Zoned out, glowed out, riding through the network, open up the doors. Lost in the code. Fractals in my vision, watch reality explode. Time loop glitching, echoes in the dome. Everything is everything, the universe is home. I ain't talking in lines. Patterns in the bass got the rhythm of time. I exist in the space where the echoes collide. In the universe birthed from a thought in my mind. I ain't lost, I'm awake inside the infinite dream. unravel the seams. Unravel the seams. Drifting through dimensions, lost in the code. Fractals in my vision, watch reality explode. Time loop glitching, echoes in the dome. Everything is everything, the universe is home. No more. Thoughts dissolve like spores on the floor. Mind stretched out, echoes of my past. One with the all, I ain't ever looking back. Crashed through the veil, left my name at the door. Jung's old ghost whisper truth from the core. Symbols and sigils light up in the sky. Patterns connect like the gods left a guide. I ain't a body, I ain't a brain. I'm just a space where the cosmos remain. Infinite loops in the dust of the deep. I let go, now the universe speaks. I am all and none. I am all and none. I am all and none. All in one. Gone, I need no more. Thoughts dissolve like spores on the floor. Mind stretched out, echoes of my past. One with the all, I ain't ever looking back. Filled with spores. Zoned out, riding through the network, open up the doors. Bass-shaped brainwaves sync with the mycelium. Fun car talking through the roots, man, you feeling them. Deep in the dark where the data gets stored. Underground links got the knowledge restored. Light years ahead, but I'm moving slow motion. Spores in the air, let them drift like an ocean. Colors in my mind, yeah, pixels all distorted. Hacking through the grid, I'm organically supported. Glitch, hop, funk, let the signal decode. 808s pulse through the cosmic node. Spaced out, chilling in my spacecraft filled with spores. Zoned out, glowed out. Zoned out, glowed out. Riding through the network, open up the doors. Hack the matrix, now I'm drifting through the loops. Spores in the bass, let it vibrate through the booth. Mic check, echo like a fractal in the mist. Everything connected, you just gotta get the gist. Fungal frequencies, vibe with the energy. Glitching in the system, still moving like a centipede. Bounce like a spore cloud, dropped like a data stream. Warped in the bass, let it ride through the dream. rise, sink to the beat. Baseline locked, spores in the heat. Vibrations rise, sink to the beat. Baseline locked, spores in the heat. Spaced out, chilling in my spacecraft filled with spores. Zoned out, riding through the network, open up the doors. Jung's old ghost whisper truths from the core. Symbols and sigils light up in the sky. Patterns connect like the gods left a guide. I ain't a body, I ain't a brain. I'm just a space where the cosmos remain. Infinite loops in the dust of the deep. I let go, now the universe speaks. I am all and none. I am all and none. I am all and none. I am not and none. All in one. on the floor, mind stretched out, echoes of my past. One with the all, I ain't never looking back.